3, day 4,
Hello.
day 5, I don't know.
Well, we're going to stick to day 5 because it's the 5th of February.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to get really confusing. Hello, everybody.
Come on, everyone. It is 8:30 in the morning.
We are up and about early this morning.
Yes. We're just rolling out to, Tesco's. Car journey.
We haven't lasted long going to Asda, have we?
No.
Tesco's is just so close. It's 5 minutes down the road.
This was a lot easier. But yeah, so out and about early this morning. Got some work stuff to sort out in a bit. But yeah, plans for today. What are we doing today for you?
Well, we've got some work stuff to sort out. Got an order to ship, and I think that's everything. I've started on a new sock design. I'm very excited. Hopefully, I'll start do some work on that later. I won't show you it today because I'm not 100% on the pattern yet.
Yeah, so it's up and at this morning, and I hope you're all okay. I hope you all had a great weekend.
We had a lovely weekend. We really did. Just nice and chilled and quiet.
Just relaxing, wasn't it?
Yeah. My son's just moved house, so we went to see his new house, didn't we, yesterday?
Yeah.
That was nice.
Very nice.
So yeah, I didn't film the podcast yesterday. Apologies about that, but I'll talk to you about that later on.
When you have your little chat.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a chat about it.
But yeah, and as well, thank you very much for all the lovely pictures coming in for the Advent.
Thank you. Oh, love them.
Absolutely amazing. So thank you very much if you're joining the Advent this year.
Some people are not joining in, but they've still sent pictures, so thank you for that. You don't have to join the Advent to send the pictures.
Yes,
you can still take part by inspiring.
Yeah, so thank you very much for all that. And yeah, it's very humbling to see how many people you want to come and check us out and come and see what we do. It's much appreciated. And yeah, so we're going over the tops. Maybe some views today.
We'll do some views, shall we? Because all the sheep are out.
Oh, should I do it now?
Yeah, we'll do the views now.
Oh, okay. So stay safe, everybody. Take it easy and enjoy the views.
from Tesco's. It is 9:30. I'm just having half an hour. I've got loads to do today. I can't sit and have long, just half an hour. Because I have got lots to do. I wanted to have a quick chat about the podcast because I didn't film the podcast yesterday. And the reason being is because I'm changing it up a little bit. I've always filmed the podcast every 2 weeks. I'm just knitting if you see me looking down. And it's always worked really well. But now I've started doing some of my own designs, I just find that I feel like I'm forcing myself to work on other things just because I've got a podcast coming up and I need content for it. And I don't want to do that. I never want to do that with my knitting. So because I want to work on my own designs as well, I don't want to feel like I can't do that. So I'm going to switch the podcast to monthly, and I'm just going to have, I've got a really itchy eye. I'm just going to have monthly wrap-ups at the end of each month and do it that way. And then it just takes the pressure off a little bit. I have got some things that I could have talked about in the podcast yesterday, but I didn't feel like I had enough inspiring projects. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to do monthly wrap-ups. I hope nobody minds. It just makes it easier for me. And then, because there's things that I want to do with the channel at the moment, and I feel like if I'm doing the podcast every 2 weeks, every podcaster will tell you this, you feel like you have to have content for the podcast. I've cut my whips down anyway, so I'm not getting the content as much because I'm not having as many whips, and for me, you know, having less whips is really beneficial. But where was I going with that? I had a whole point. I've no idea where I was going with that. But yeah, so I'm just going to do monthly wrap-ups, and that way then I can still work on my other designs that I want to. Oh, that's what I was saying, yeah. There's other things that I want to be doing on the channel. I always say I want to do more tutorials, and I do. And sometimes I just feel like I don't have time to do the tutorials because I'm always, you know, working on things for the podcast. So I just feel like if I go to monthly, it'll just take the pressure off me a little bit. Not that it's pressure, because I never knit anything that I don't want to knit, ever. Anything that I knit and show on the podcast is something that I've wanted to do. But I think it's probably more because I've started doing some of my own designs, and they take a long time. I've been working on this sock now that I mentioned earlier. I've been working on this sock for 5-6 weeks, and whenever you do any kind of design, you've got to knit it yourself first. So when I do socks, I have the idea in my head, I knit it, and then I write it down as I'm knitting it. Then I use the pattern to knit the second sock and make sure it works. This particular design that I've got, I'm having major problems getting it how I want it. So the design that I've got now is the third design, and it's so very different from the first one. I'm not going to tell you what the first one was because I'm still going to do it. I just haven't worked out how I'm going to do it yet. But it all takes a really long time. So, for example, on Saturday, I'd sat and knit all day. I had such a great day, but there was nothing to show for it at the end of it because the design that I had didn't work. It worked, but not how I wanted it to work. I wasn't happy with it. So I had to completely start it again. So in that instance, it means that I'm not getting, because I don't show the designs on the podcast until they're ready and complete. So it means that I don't have a great deal to show if I've been doing things like that. I've got another design that I've been trying, and I haven't got that one right yet. It just takes time. It takes time because you have an idea in your head that you're trying to get out of your head onto a knitting pattern. and it's not always, sometimes things work out, like the puffle socks, they worked out immediately because it was a really simple design, and the up north socks, they worked out really easy. The journey socks, the design that you saw was attempt number 4, I think. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to go on to monthly podcast episodes, but that doesn't mean to say there's going to be less things on the channel, because there isn't, because there's still other things that I want to be doing with the channel that aren't episodes. So there'll be other things to see. That was a big waffle, wasn't it? I don't know if that made any sense at all. But yeah, so I've got quite a few jobs to do today. Finlay is still asleep in bed. He's been up in the night, so I've let him sleep a little bit longer, but I need to go get him up in the shower and on with some schoolwork. And then I want to do some work on this sock design. I've got all the hoovering to do. I've got some belly bands to print out and cut out. Because that's always a job. Always a job. It's one of those jobs that feels like it should take 2 minutes and it doesn't. It takes an hour. So I'm trying to be more on the ball with all those sort of things and just printing them out. And then I'm not having to cut out, 50 belly bands all in one go. So yeah, there's a few little jobs to do today. But right now I'm having half an hour. I'm working on the sleeve for my cardigan. I'll get to the end of this row and I'll show you. Knitting flat is so different to knitting in the round. It really is. I'm really enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything negative about it at all. But this sleeve seems to have taken me forever. And it hasn't. It just feels like it's taken a really long time. Look how narrow that looks. I've sewn that in because it looked really narrow and I wasn't sure it was going to fit. It does. But yeah, it looked really narrow, so I sewed that up. But yes, I've got another inch or so to do, and then I'm going to sew this sleeve in and see how difficult it is. I've really enjoyed it though, I really have. It's been nice because I've only ever knit patterns in the round, and when you knit in the round, yes, you've got no seaming to do, but you've got a lot of stitches, especially before you've split for sleeves. And if it's just stockinette, it does get a bit mind-numbing. Where I've found with knitting flat, because this is a cardigan, I knit the back first, then both fronts. And I just found that I could knit the back and then knit on something else for a little bit, then knit a front and then knit on something else. But they all worked up really quick because there was only such a small number of stitches on. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens when it comes to sewing this sleeve in. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I shall see how I get on. And yeah, so I'll be back in a little bit. this cat. Hang on. The cushion is now mine. I shall sit here and admire the world from my cushion which holds my head high.
He's even staring at the camera.
Have you ever seen out like that, cat? Right, I'm making a coffee. Oh, dear me. It is, I don't even know what time it is. 3 o'clock. Oh, the bin needs to go out as well, out front for bin men.
Black one.
I don't know what day it is. Anybody else struggle with what day the bins go out? We're the first ones to put the bin out this week. I do not like having the responsibility of being the first person to put the bin out. Because everyone will copy me, and I don't know if I've chosen the right bin. Is it green bin or grey bin? Nobody knows. Oh, so, it is now 3 o'clock. I have just spent an insane amount of time trying to solve this maths equation with Finn. And I'm completely stumped. It's okay because the next door neighbour is a maths tutor, so she can help me out. But I am going to now knit before I've got to get on with tea. It is 3 o'clock. I think I've said that twice. I've not even boiled the kettle. And yeah, my brain is frazzled. Josh knows the answer, but he couldn't be bothered to tell me. Josh is really, really good at maths. And he goes, I'll just work it out. Anyway, never mind. I'm going to go do some knitting. We're having French onion soup for tea. I've been reading these books. I'll tell you about them later because I can't remember what they're called. But they're absolutely brilliant. They're on Kindle Unlimited and there are 9 books in the series. And they've got recipes in the back, so I want to try this French onion soup recipe for tea tonight. So me and Danny are guinea pigs while I try this recipe. But I'm going to get on with that in about an hour. I'm going to go do some knitting. My poor little brain, it's fried. Stuart's obviously just slept. Oh, he's moved position now, bless him. Right. Oh, get me coffee down. Oh, be back in a bit. Buddy. You come to say hello, darling? You come to say hello, sweetheart? He has been in and out all afternoon. All afternoon. What row am I on? That's a decrease there. So, we had the soup. It was absolutely delicious. The name of the books I've been reading are... The first one is called Tea is for Trouble, and it's by Sue Walker. That's the first book in the series, and they're all on Kindle Unlimited. So if you would like to go and have a look at some good books, what are they about? They're a little bit chick-litty, I'm not going to lie, and you know I like my crime thrillers, but I've just loved these books. So it starts off with the main character, April May. She drives into Serenity Cove and she sees this old house. She's coming off the back of a broken engagement and her mum's not long passed away. And her and her mum's dream was always to open a tea rooms. So she comes across this old house and decides on the spur of a moment to buy it. It comes with everything as listed, as is in it. It was donated to a cat charity, I think, or something, some form of charity, and they're selling the house with everything in it. So she buys this house and it comes with a resident ghost who is a chef, and he teaches her how to cook some amazing French cuisines, and there's a murder to solve. It's really fluffy, but oh my word, it is so good. I read the first one, immediately downloaded the second, and I've just downloaded the third last night. I just love it. They are such good books, just something that's a real change. So yeah, if you're into anything like that, like a cosy mystery sort of thing, give it a go. It's 5:30 nearly, well 5:25 now, and we've had tea, and I'm gonna sit and edit the vlog and work on my last sleeve. Honestly, I was so worried about putting that sleeve in, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. I got a tutorial up, as you saw in the video, just to talk me through it a little bit. But it was fine, and it took me 20 minutes to sew the sleeve in and all sewing up this sleeve and down the body. So it really didn't take that long at all. So I'm itching to get the second sleeve done. It needs blocking. It was a snug fit because obviously that's pre-blocking. But yeah, so my next bit I'm nervous about now is putting the belly band on. But I'm just going to take it slowly. I am adding buttons to this cardigan. The only thing is, the pattern said, the pattern comes in 2 cardigan lengths, long and short. And the long, when I measured it against me, it would have been down past my knees. I am quite short. I'm saying I'm quite short. I think I'm average height. I'm 5'4". But it would have been down past my knees. So it was an extra 10 inches of knitting, as opposed to the short length one. It might have been 12 inches, something around that. But the pattern said 6 balls of yarn for my size for the short and 6 balls of yarn for the long one. Well, I'm glad I did the short one because I've cracked into this ball for my sleeve. The only yarn I've got left is that, and I've got one up there which I'm going to be using for the belly band. I don't think I would have had enough with 6 balls if I'd done the long version. And I'm sure that's what it said. Let me double check. Let me double check it before I'm giving out the wrong information. Where's the long cardigan? Oh, it said 5 balls for my size. No. And 6 balls for the long. So I needed more balls of yarn than what it said. I'd done myself 6 balls. But yeah, honestly, I've really enjoyed it though. That aside, I have really enjoyed it. So this was part of the reason why I hadn't started Danny's cardigan yet, because I thought if I don't like all the sewing up, there's another pattern that I found on Ravelry, which is knitting the round. So I had that as my backup in case I didn't like sewing up. But I think I might do Danny's cardigan flat. I really do, because I have really enjoyed this. But also, as well, a little bit of information for you that you might not need to know. But I have started using GoodNotes for my patterns. I was using Knit Companion. If you've been here for a while, you've heard me talk about Knit Companion. It's absolutely fantastic. I did get the free trial so you could write on the patterns, but it was like either $26.99 or $27.99. I think, was that for the year or a one-off payment? I'm not sure. Just so you could write on the pattern. But what, I didn't do it because A, I thought it was expensive, but B, the Knit Companion wouldn't sync between devices, and the only reason I really wanted it was so I could sync between devices, between my phone and my iPad. Now my phone is Android, so that could be why, but still, if you've signed into Knit Companion, you've signed in. But because I've been using things like that, when I'm at knit group and things, if I'm taking a pattern down, I want to be able to look at my phone, not have to take my iPad down. Anyway, I'd heard about GoodNotes and thought, I'm just going to give it a try. Well, I'm so glad that I did. It's just brilliant. So it's $9.99 for the year, which I think is a really reasonable price. It's a bit easier to find $9.99, isn't it, than $27.99. But you can write all over your patterns as well. And it's just brilliant. And you can set up all different notebooks. So now I've got a patterns folder, recipes folder. And somebody was asking in the Facebook group, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was asking in the Facebook group for knitter's paper, you know, graph paper. Well, on Knit Companion, it's not quite the same, but you get the gist. You can get squared paper to draw on. So if you're wanting to do some of your own designs, there's squared paper there as well. So I'm really impressed with it. I've been using that and it's just brilliant. Obviously you can write all over your pattern. It's got highlighters and all sorts, all different colours. So yeah, if you want anything like that, Good Notes is a good one. Oh dear, it's really cold now. I might go get my hot water bottle in a bit. We're supposed to get snow again Thursday. Are you sitting? No licking, no licking. Thursday we're supposed to get snow. Shall we see if we get any this time? We didn't last time. But it's on my weather app, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't think my weather app's all that cracking, to be honest. I usually go on the BBC weather on Google, and that's quite a bit more accurate. So whether we're going to get any or not, I don't know, but we shall see. So I am going to sit. Oh no, I've got to tink all the way back. I forgot to do my increases. That's annoying, isn't it? I'd nearly done the row. Tink back, tink back, tink back. So the only thing when you're doing increases, what I do when I'm doing increases, like on this sleeve, I've got 18 to put in. So I've got 18 stitch markers in my stitch marker pot. So I know when they've run out, I've done my increases. And I don't have to be using a row counter or marking anything off with a tally. You've just got to remember to put them in and not shoot across the row gassing. Here you come back, lugs. You've been in and out all day today, haven't you? Oops. Dog's on my knee. Yeah, I'm going to get my hot water bottle out in a little bit. And I'm going to sit with my hot water bottle, find something to watch. Anyone got any good series to watch? I can't watch Downton Abbey again. There's just nothing, there's no good series at the minute at all. So if you've got any good recommendations, I don't like anything dark. I love crime books, but I don't really tend to watch them on the TV. Although, what did I watch recently that was quite good? Fool Me Once on Netflix. That was brilliant. That's a Harlan Coben novel, though. That's why I liked it, because I do like Harlan Coben. But yeah, I don't like anything. I like nice things for series to watch. Downton Abbey. I don't like Bridgerton. I've tried so many times to like Bridgerton. I really have tried hard, but I just don't like it. It's not for me. And I've given it a few episodes as well, but it's not for me. Big Bang Theory, I love. Anne of Green Gables, I've watched that, loved that. What else have I watched? That kind of thing, do you know what I mean? So if you've got any good recommendations, let me know in the comments, because I need a new series to watch. Right, now go back and do the increases, Alex. What's that noise out there? Something going on out there. It's dark, everyone should be inside. Anyway, right, I'm going to go. I hope you've all had a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow for day 6. Bye, everybody.